I'm Robert Barr, one of the rabbis of OurJewishCommunity.org and Congregation Beth Adam. And today we're in the sanctuary of our congregation, which looks like many sanctuaries around the country. But this sanctuary was built with a philosophy that's reflected in the architecture and the art. And we're going to take a short tour of the sanctuary to help you understand more about the sanctuary and OurJewishCommunity.org and Congregation Beth Adam. We're going to begin with the idea that this sanctuary is wrapped with 12 windows. Many congregations around the world have windows. Stained glass windows is a common motif. 12. And when we began to think about what would be the most appropriate reflection of our philosophy, we began to look and think, would we do the 12 tribes? Some congregations have that. 12 different holidays, congregations have that as well. But we decided that what would be most reflective for us was our understanding of how we, as human beings, arrive. And for us, it is a scientific approach. So across the front of our sanctuary is the Big Bang, exploding across the congregation and wrapping us as a community in that moment, that historical scientific moment that researchers have discovered. It begins over the eternal light and goes outward. One side of the sanctuary, the Big Bang, evolves into the evolution of the planet that we know. When you look at the colors, they change. They go from the abstract colors, if you will, of the Big Bang to the natural colors of this earth. The green of our planet, the blue of the water, the blue of the sky that we know, because we know as a congregation, and we affirm as a congregation, that we evolved out of nature. That is our understanding of how we got to this place. It is our core understanding of our human capacity. So on the one side, evolution, across the front, the Big Bang. And I know we're taking you around the sanctuary, but it's hard when you're sitting as a human being watching it on video to experience this. But when we sit in the sanctuary wrapped, the Big Bang keeps on wrapping around and goes to the other side of the sanctuary. And there the glass is clear. It's a little bit more complicated to see perhaps on video than it is being in the congregation itself. But it is science itself. It is the ordering. That's why the structure is more symmetrical, straight lines and round circles, all being made to put in order, because we understand that the best way to understand the human experience is by using science and reason. If you actually have walked into our congregation through the front foyer, you would have noticed that those front doors were at an angle. You would have actually seen these windows, this sanctuary, and the lobby of the congregation all simultaneously. Because here at OurJewishCommunity.org, at Congregation Beth Adam, we understand that there is an important interplay between science and reason and the emotional, the religious experience. Together they create what we do here. They balance each other. Some of us use more of a scientific approach, others perhaps a more emotional approach. But both sets of values in the human experience defines who we are and what we do in this sanctuary, in this unique place. So sitting in the sanctuary, we're wrapped with science, experience, nature itself. And before us, like most congregations, there's an ark. And you'll notice that our ark is a bit off-center. That was purposeful. We had a lot of conversation about the issue of authority. Where does the authority for the rabbis of this congregation come from? Does it come from the ark? Does it come from the past? Well, not really. It comes, in fact, from the congregation itself. So what's central to our congregation is the arches that are over the sanctuary. Those arches embrace the members and those who are visiting our congregation. For it's those who sit in the sanctuary who affirm the authority and give the rabbi his or her right to actually speak here and represent the community. So the arches affirm that aspect, with the ark being off a little bit off-center because the authority doesn't come from the ark, it doesn't come from the past, it doesn't come from a variety of traditions, it comes from people who choose to call us their rabbi. The ark itself is much like many arks. You can see our Torah behind the metal doors. We've decided always we like the idea of having the ark the Torah exposed within the ark, that you could see into it. Today you happen to see our yellow Torah cover. We have seasonal Torah covers. We're recording this during the summer, so our yellow seasonal Torah cover is on. We go from a fall to a winter to a spring and then to summer. Above our ark, like most congregations, is an eternal light, a ner tamid in Hebrew. Now, ours is a bit unique. If you look closely, you'll notice that the flames are more than just flames. They are the double helix, that which makes us who we are as human beings. We wanted to make expression through this art of our sanctuary clear that we approach the human experience and the religious experience from a scientific and reasoned perspective. So our ark, our Ner Tamid, our eternal light, our windows all give affirmation to this, while at the same time giving affirmation to the notion that we as the rabbis of this community derive our authority from our members themselves. They grant us the right and the opportunity and the privilege to call ourselves the rabbis of this institution. Our community, our congregation, and this sanctuary is reflective of those values. Delighted that you were willing to take some time and take a tour of our sanctuary, and we hope one day that you join us here and experience a Shabbat service, a life cycle event, the high holidays, here sitting in this truly unique synagogue, one of a kind. So welcome to Beth Adam.